Hey guys, my name's David, this is Sweetie, and this is Unbound, and welcome to the inside of my travel trailer. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through how to sanitize your RV's freshwater system. And if my voice sounds a little weird, it's because I have a cold and it's making me lose my voice. So sorry about that, but we're going to push through it. I've been a full-time RVer for 8 years now, and one thing I do every single year is I sanitize my RV's entire freshwater system using bleach water. And whether you're a full-time RVer or not, I recommend that you do the same. Once a year, sanitize your entire RV freshwater system using bleach water. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with some pretty gross water over time. Algae is gonna start growing in your RV's water system. And when you turn on your kitchen sink to use some water, you're gonna get some green water coming out. It's pretty disgusting. So yeah, this is definitely something you're gonna wanna stay on top of. For traditional RVers, a perfect time to do it is at the beginning of the season when you're getting your RV all ready to go to use it for the summer. And for full-time RVers, just pick a time when it's most convenient to you. Typically for me, that's when I'm visiting family. Like right now, I'm at my brother's house. And so this is a perfect time for me to sanitize my tanks since I've got water from their house. And since we're gonna be working with bleach through this process, I have 3 recommendations for you. The first is the bleach that you use needs to be just Clorox, regular disinfecting bleach. Don't use the no splash bleach or any kind of scented bleaches or anything weird like that. Just the most basic disinfecting bleach. The no splash bleach is really thick and it's not suitable for disinfecting water systems. Next off, you'll want to wear gloves because obviously bleach is very caustic. And also clothes. You don't want to wear anything that you will be upset if you get bleach splashed over it and you get bleach stains on. And so I'm gonna put on my old grungy work clothes. There we go. Now we're ready to get started. Now the first thing I do is I drain my water lines and my water heater. Just using my low point drain tubes right here on the off-door side of my travel trailer. I just open those up and they'll drain out the water lines. And then I also have this pressure release valve on my water heater that I can open up, and that will allow air into the water heater, which will allow the water in it to drain out through the hot water line low point drain tube. And while we're waiting for all of that to drain, I want to really quickly give you guys an update on the ONNAIS RV door lock that I installed earlier this year. Prior to installing this ONNAIS door lock, I had different brands keypad aftermarket door lock on my front door here, and I was just never satisfied with it. It didn't feel very well built. It didn't clamp to the door right, and so it was always moving around. The buttons on it just peeled away super quickly. Yeah, it was just a total waste of money. But ONNAIS, on the other hand, I feel the exact opposite way. This is an incredibly well-built product. It feels very robust and durable right out of the box when I was looking it over. The buttons haven't begun to fade or peel at all after repeated use. You guys know I'm a full-time RVer. I use this constantly every time I leave, so I've touched all over these buttons, pressed them a ton of times in the past 6 months, and they look the exact same as they did when it was brand new. Whereas, like I said, that other brand, the buttons peeled off after just a couple months. It was ridiculously easy to install. It only took about 15 minutes to take the old door lock off, put the new one on, and it works really easily. I love how slick this is. To lock it, all you do is just push that ONNAIS button there, and then it's locked. And to unlock it, you just set it to whatever combination you want, type that in and hit the check, and then it unlocks it also. But something really cool that ONNAIS did is that you can type in just any random numbers and then put in your code, and then also type in whatever random numbers after that, and then hit the check. And as long as your code is in there somewhere, it will unlock the door, and it they do that in case there's someone with you and you don't want them to know the code to your front door. You can kind of hide it by doing that. It's really neat. And then they also include a couple of key fobs so that you can unlock and lock your door remotely using just the push of the button on the key fob. And you'll notice that there is two sets of lock and unlock buttons on the key fobs. For those of you that have multiple doors on your RV, you can program both of those sets of buttons to two separate ONNAIS locks. And it also comes with a key in case your remote dies, the battery inside of the door lock itself dies. You can still always get in with just the key. And what's really awesome is that ONNAIS is giving a massive 20% discount off of their RV door locks to the Fate Unbound viewers. So if you use promo code Fate Unbound and go through the link in the video description below, you get 20% off. And after 6 months, I'm still incredibly happy with this door lock, and I know you guys will be too. All right, let's get back to the video. So I drain the water lines and my water heater, but I don't drain my fresh water tank. I like to have it about halfway full for this because I'm going to be dumping in a higher concentration bleach water into it, and I like it to be about halfway full so that bleach can dilute immediately inside of my tank so it doesn't damage it, and then I'll fill it the rest of the way up. But before we start mixing our bleach water solution here, I do quickly want to address that I know there's a lot of contention online about whether or not you should be putting bleach water into your water heater's tank because it could potentially cause corrosion of the metal inside of the tank. Over the years, I've done the research time and again, and I've just determined that the strength of this bleach solution and the time it's going to be in there is just not enough to cause any meaningful damage. We're using fairly low concentration of bleach here, and it's only in there for about 4 to 6 hours. I've been a full-time RVer for 8 years now. I've done this to my RV's freshwater tank every year for 8 years, and I've got no leaks, no issues. I stay up to date on replacing my anode rod. I never let that get fully corroded away. And so, my water heater's fine. Other people recommend to use vinegar on your water heater instead of bleach. Bleach the whole rest of the system, but then use vinegar on the water heater. And honestly, that worries me more than potential corrosion of my water heater through bleach, because when vinegar and bleach mix, it forms chlorine gas, which is extremely toxic, and I don't want that anywhere inside of my RV, even in small concentrations. Yeah, you can flush your water system out to get out most of the bleach, but some of it's going to be left behind, and I just don't want chlorine gas forming. So the amount of bleach recommended is 1/4 cup of bleach for every 15 gallons of water. My fresh water tank is 54 gallons, and I have a 6-gallon water heater, so that's 60 gallons exactly. And so for me, it's really easy. I use 2 cups of bleach then to sanitize my entire water system. And so I'm gonna pour in 2 gallons of bleach, or I'm sorry, 2 cups of bleach. And then I just pour the 2 cups of bleach into this jerry can here that I already have about halfway full of water. And then I fill this jerry can up the rest of the way with water. And the reason I do this is because you don't want to dump just straight bleach right into your water system. It's too strong. You could damage rubber, plastics, seals, whatever, all those things. And it's bad news. So always use diluted bleach. For all of this. Like I said, I use a jerry can, a 6-gallon jerry can, and it works perfectly well. But you could also just dump it, I don't know, into a hose. I know some people do, and then they run water through that hose and it kind of dilutes it as it pours it into your fresh tank. But I just find this to be super simple. And then we can dump that jerry can of bleach water into our freshwater tank. Once it's all in, we want to fill up the freshwater tank all the way to the top so that that bleach water can touch all of the walls in our fresh water tank. Next, we want to close our water heater's pressure release valve and close our low point drain tubes. And if there are any other water containers you use in your travels each year, like this 6-gallon jerry can that I use, you'll want to sanitize those too using the same 1/4 cup per 15 gallons of water. This is 6 gallons, so the math doesn't add up quite as perfectly as in my travel trailer. And so instead of 1/4 of a cup of bleach, I just use an 1/8 cup. Pour that in and fill it up with water. I actually went through that whole process, thought the camera was recording. It was not, so this is already filled with that bleach water solution. And I just mix it up a little bit too, just to make sure that that bleach is, you know, touching every surface inside of this jerry can, that bleach water, and let that sit too. Now we can come to the inside of your RV and turn the water pump on. And that's gonna start filling up all of your water lines, but we need to allow our water heater to fill up, and for that, we need to get the air out of the water heater. And so I just go to my kitchen faucet and pull it down here and open up the hot water, or the hot water line. Jeez. And the reason I do that is because once air starts to push all the way out, it's gonna start sputtering and splashing. And so I hold it right down into the drain so that that bleach water doesn't get, you know, all over my cabinets, and it just doesn't splash all over the place. And it's gonna take a couple minutes because usually an RV water heater or an RV pump is 3 gallons per minute, and I have a 6-gallon water heater. But you can hear it starting to sputter. All right, we've got a nice stream of water coming out, so that means our water heater is full. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the cold water line now, just to let any air push out of that as well. All right, that's pretty good. And then you'll want to go around to the rest of your water features inside your RV. So your bathrooms, your tub, and even don't forget to turn on your shower as well to get that water up into your shower. And now for the easy part, guys. We just have to sit and wait for that bleach to do its job, sanitize our whole water system. For me, I wait about 6 hours. Some people like to wait overnight, which is totally fine. I just do 6 hours because that's what I have read online is a proper time to wait for this concentration of bleach in water. And I don't like waiting overnight because I just like to get it all done in the same day. You know, just, I don't know, something about me when I start a project, I want to see it through as soon as I can. And so yeah, six hours works well for me. You know, it's kind of tricky with something like this because you don't want to let it sit not long enough, because then it won't kill all the bacteria and the algae and, you know, whatever else is in your water tanks. But you don't want to let it sit too long either, because, you know, bleach is caustic and it's going to be attacking the water tanks, the water lines, seals, the water heater, all those things. And so yeah, overnight or 6 hours, but don't let it set multiple days. I'd advise not letting it sit for more than 8 or 10 hours because you might be damaging your components then. So Sweetie and I are gonna hang out and wait for this to sanitize. I've got my windows open and my max fan on to air out this place, because letting that bleach water run out of my faucets and my bathtub and shower did give a little bit of a bleach smell in here, but again, it's not super strong bleach water, so the smell isn't bad, and with the ventilation from the max fan, we're totally fine in here. One thing I do want to mention though, that I forgot until just now, is that if you're going to be running this bleach water solution through your toilet as well to sanitize the water lines running to your toilet, just keep in mind that that bleach water is going to go down into your black tank, and bleach and urine combine together to form some pretty nasty and harmful compounds. And so I highly advise that you dump your black tank and flush it out, back flush it as best you can with fresh water to get as much urine out of it as you possibly can. before putting bleach water down into it. I forgot because I have a composting toilet. I don't have a black water tank, and so yeah, that just kind of completely slipped my mind, but I'm glad I was at least able to remember it now and let you guys know about it. But after that bleach water is set in your fresh water tank, your water heater, and your water lines long enough to fully sanitize them, all you have to do is drain your freshwater tank and fill it back up with fresh water to flush your whole system. Turn all of your faucets, all of your water features on again to flush out that bleach water. Do that at least 2 times, maybe even a third, depending on whether you can still detect any bleach in that water. But it's generally recommended that 2 full flushes is enough. I usually do a third just to be careful. And when you do initially drain that first bit of bleach water, oh sweet girl, calm down. She's awesome when walking around. She always alerts me to it. She's my guard dog. But when you drain out that first bit of bleach water, that concentrated one, make sure you do it into an RV dump station or something else that doesn't just go out into like the water supply, like a storm drain would, where that would just run out into nearby waterways. It's just not good. You don't want that getting into the water. You want it going somewhere where it's going to be properly treated. I am towing my trailer to a dump station not too far from here. Washington State is pretty good about having free dump stations at their rest stops. And so there's one not too far from here that I'm going to take the trailer to do my first initial dump. But if you liked the video and you found it helpful and you'd like to buy me a beer, then you can go through that QR code right there. And I'll also drop a link down in the video description below as well. And also, you know, please consider subscribing. I'm a full-time RVer. Sweetie here and I travel all throughout the United States. We live full-time in this travel trailer, and we primarily boondock and dry camp out in incredibly beautiful places, out in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains, in the forests, in the desert, on the beaches. And so if you'd like to see content like that, then yeah, consider coming along our travels with us. But again, my name's David, this is Sweetie, and this is Fate Unbound, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Good girl. Did you say bye to the people? Good girl.